Hey guys, welcome. It's Marcy, the Cranky Crafter. I'm gonna try not to zoom in so much in this video. Last time, I think it was towards the end of the video, I had forgotten that I had zoomed in because the Rolodex cards were so little. And then when I continued on, like putting them into the actual Rolodex, I realized, I'm probably like right up into everybody's faces. So yeah, here we are. And it's Fodder Friday. We love a good Fodder Friday. And we're going to be doing watercolors today. And guess what? We're going to be making frogs. These guys kind of make me laugh. Look at them. They're quite funny. I actually saw something similar to these quite some time ago on Pinterest. I cannot find the actual artist or creator or whoever that originally made them, so I can't really like link you to anybody or whatever, because it was just like, I think people were sharing it and eventually somehow the creator like didn't even end up on there anymore. I don't even really know how Pinterest works, quite honestly. I don't go there often. I had this saved for ages in like my ideas folder. So here we are. We're gonna start with our 90-pound paper, and I have my 8-round brush, and I also have pulled out my 4-round. I have been using these for like some of the detail, like their little arms and then their little, toes. Are they toes? I'm gonna call them toes. Frog pads? No, that doesn't sound right. I'm calling them toes. So you might see me switch over to the 4. But basically, guys, my throat is kind of scratchy today. It's really quite smoky outside today. I'm not sure where it's coming from. We usually can get it from Canada or, anywhere close. And we have such strong winds here that it can pull it in from anywhere. But it's very hazy out. The weather, the air pollution is strong today, which is not good. The chickens don't like that. So I have some colors already activated in my palette. I've made up like a green-ish color and then a different, it's kind of like a turquoisey green. You could honestly use any green, any combination of greens, and I might actually add to this as we go. It just depends on my mood. And I might end up with a completely different color green by the end of this, and I'm totally fine with that. To me, that's the magic of watercolor. So what we're going to do is just basically make a circle. That's what we're starting out with. And I'm going to start kind of further away from the edge because we need to leave room for the legs. So basically just a circle. It doesn't have to be a perfect circle. Just a circle-ish shape. And then and then what I tend to do is come in and do like the spots for their eyes. So I kind of just make like little like gumdrop shapes, I guess you could call it. They almost look like ears, like for a bear or something, but they're gonna be the eyeballs. of the frog. So once you get that done, then that's kind of like I will come in and grab my other green color, and I'm going to drop some in here. And I do that because, well, A, I love it. That's the main reason I do it. But B, in my head, frogs are kind of splotchy. I don't know. I've never really seen a frog close up, to be honest with you, but I feel like they're like variegated colors of greens and dark greens and whatever. So you could drop in anything. You could drop in a darker green. I did that like turquoisey green color. You know, it's up to you what you like. So we have that. Basically, it's head shape, or, you know, this is actually the body, I suppose, for this. We're going to add the legs. They remind me of drumsticks, like chicken chicken legs, chicken drumsticks, like what you would, you know, cook. It's like, okay, just keep moving, Marcy. Anyway, that's kind of like the shape that we're going for. And again, it doesn't have to be perfect. In fact, like I always say, I think it's better if it's not, because it gives them character. So you can make them really slender legs. You could make them, you know, plump legs. But we're just going to kind of butt up close to the body. And then we're going to make it more narrow as we kind of come down. Like that. Okay? And then we're going to make a little line there. And then I'm going to come back and fill this in. And you can see that my color is kind of bleeding because this was still wet. I'm good with that. Like, that doesn't bother me. In fact, I'm going to kind of coax it to do that because I think it's kind of fun when it does. And then we'll do the other leg on the other side. I do this every single time. I should have started on the other side because now this side is wet and I'm going to probably drag my arm into it. You would think I would learn by now, but have we? No, we haven't. I think it's because I'm right-handed. I think that's why I do that, because it just feels natural to do the right bit first. I don't know, I'm making that up. And then I'm just going to pick some of this up because I feel like I added a little bit too much. So I'm going to come in here and grab my other green-ish color, and I'm just going to add a little bit in there. Now this is where I'm going to switch over. I've got my 4 now, and that's because I want something smaller to make his little toes. And we're just going to make 3 little lines and then add little dots on the end. Just like that. Now, before we do like their arms, we want this to be fully dry. And I say that because if you were to do the arms right now when it's still damp, you wouldn't actually get the shape of it at all. It would just kind of blend all together. So I'm going to actually move on to the next frog. That'll give us time to dry. And if it's still not fully dry, then I'll take out the power tool and do it that way. Now, you could do their legs any number of ways that you want. In fact, we'll do one more kind of like this, and then I have an idea. I already made one, but I'm going to show you how to make it first and then show you the end product because it's kind of funny. I think it's kind of funny. Maybe you won't think it's kind of funny. Um, so we've been battling like some wasps. I don't know why. They seem extremely heavy this year. Like we have pine trees up in the front, and they're just covered in them. And you know, okay, that's fine because I don't spend a lot of time necessarily up there around those. But I do spend a lot of time back towards the chicken coop, and they decided that they were going to build a nest. Like, right? So we have a, the chicken coop is kind of like the back half of our shed. And my husband built like a lean-to so that it would offer not only shelter from the sun, but shelter from like the elements so that I could keep their food out there and it wouldn't get, you know, wet and gross. And they decided that they were going to build a nest like underneath that lean-to. So basically where I have to go to put their food, their container of food every morning. And yeah, I wasn't real keen on it because they were quite, yeah, they get a little bit bossy, a little bit angry. Those wasps do. And so I pointed it out and showed my husband where it was at, and I'm like, hey, how about we get rid of that? He's like, yeah, that doesn't sound like a fun thing to me. So he did. He went out there one day and like took the hose, because you couldn't really get to it safely without being like cornered inside of there. And obviously you don't really want to go aggravating them and being stuck like where they're at. You can make these legs, you know, as short or as long as you like them. Oh, dogs are barking. Can hear them. See how they kind of look like drumsticks? That's what that's what they make me think of. Chicken drumsticks. Hopefully that doesn't offend anybody out there that doesn't eat meat. And then we're going to come in. I don't like that. Grab too much blue. And make their little feet. So yeah, he went out there with the hose and put it on like, you know, super powered jet and blasted it, and it still didn't come down. So he had to go after it with like, he had to go get a long handled shovel and like basically scrape it off there. Yeah, okay. So I'm like, I'm not going out there anytime soon. Let's dry these so that we can get to the next part. I'll be right back. Okay, so now these are dry, and that means that we can come in and do the next bit, which is like the little arms. So I'm going to use my 4. And I'm actually going to draw a little bit of a darker green into my palette, just because I want a little bit of contrast from what we did the body as. And this is what I was talking about, how my green in my palette might end up a different color than what we started, and that's okay. I don't mind. Shades of green for frogs, right? Like, that's okay. So we're basically just going to make some thin lines. Well, okay, so I kind of already started. Which will be, that's actually still not dark enough. There we go. And then that's going to be their little arms. like that. And then we're going to do the same thing and make their little toes, fingers. These would be fingers. Guys, I'm making this terminology up completely. Like that. Hopefully my head hasn't been in the frame the entire time, because that would be embarrassing. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, the wasps. So he did that. He knocked it down and they were displeased. And I was pleased. But I'm like, I'm not going to go out there for a bit. In fact, I'm going to let them have a day or so to like get their anger out of their system. Because I don't want to get stung. I had, like, when I was little, I remember one time my folks had this, like, it was like a pickup truck, but it had, like, along the back of it, like where the pickup part is, it had these slots because you could put like a camper on the top, or like a, what did they call them? Toppers. So basically it like covered, it made this cover for your, I'm not describing this very well, but there were these open like spaces where you could just click in this like topper thing that went on the back of the truck. And I was playing in the back of the truck with a ball. And I was like kind of hitting it up against, we had this huge like chimney on the side of the house. There we've got our little arms, and we need those to dry, because the next step basically is to come in and embellish. So let's do that. I'm going to dry that. Hold please. I'm looking at this one and he doesn't have like perfectly formed little round finger toe things. It's fine. He's fine. He doesn't mind. Okay, so I have my black sketchy pen, and I also have a white acrylic marker. This has got like a brush tip. We're gonna add these just for the little white bits in his eyes. And then I have my black Posca. This is the 0.7. So we're gonna add the eyeballs, and you want them to be like oval shaped, or even close to like diamond shaped. I tended to go with oval. And so right in the middle, you're gonna do that. Kind of like that. We'll do it on this one too. Like that. And then I also like to add some dots. And you can do this with, you could do this with watercolor if you wanted. You could do it with colored pencil. You don't have to just use the Posca. That's what I'm using right now. I like the contrast. But it also would be good, like this one I did with like a green Posca pen. So it's not as stark. It kind of blends in more. This one I did, whoa, can we see it? I did with some watercolor dots, and then I added black in addition. So, you know, it's all you, how you like it. So now we need to add like a face, right? Or a mouth of some sort. So how about this one? We're gonna give it a little smiley mouth. He looks happy. This one, we're gonna give him a little sad face. Sometimes we're sad, and that's okay. We can be sad sometimes. He's got a rather large frown happening. Okay, so now we're going to do our sketching on our outline. I'm going to do these two first because they're very similar, and then I'm going to come in and do a completely different one, which, I mean, they're all making me laugh, but the other one makes me laugh. So here we're just doing our normal sketch line, right? I kind of like it to go twice. And I actually will bring this around to show where the body connects. And then right here. You could do the toes if you wanted. I didn't find it necessary to do that. One of these I did add some lines here for the arms. You could do that too if you wanted. Like we could do that here. And it's just very, you know, loose. It's not, it's just almost just like it's adding a little bit of texture. It's not really like to define it necessarily. And then with the little white brush pen, and it doesn't have to be a brush pen, but that's what I have because my white Posca has run out. But the brush pen actually works nicely because it kind of comes to a point. I just add a little white, there's a name for that, but I can't think of it right now. The little like white dot in their eye. There is a name for that, I promise. And then we'll do the same thing over here. So yeah, my story. I don't know how old I was. Maybe like 6, if even that. And I was playing in the back of this pickup truck because it was in the driveway. And I was bouncing the ball up against the brick chimney on the side of the house. Unbeknownst to me, there was wasp nests inside of those holes that I was telling you about. And I can tell you that they were not pleased with Marcy's shenanigans of the ball and the noise and the repetitiveness. I was having a grand old time. They were not. And they all just like kind of came up and swarmed everywhere. And I remember just like going like stock still. And I think because the noise stopped, my dad came out to the front porch to see like why all of a sudden probably there wasn't that aggravating ball happening all the time. At least that's what I'm making up in my head. That's why he did it. To find me standing there with like all of these wasps just hovering around me. I was petrified, and he was telling me not to move. And anyway, he managed to rescue me from that, and neither of us got, you know, stung. But now they make me a little nervous, needless to say. So I let them be. Let them have their day. Like, whatever you're going to do, just figure it out. And I went out there this morning, and by golly, those wasps were back completely, like, just a swarm of them trying to rebuild a nest in a similar spot, not the same spot, but still too close for my comfort. So I'm like, no, we're not doing that. So I got the hose out again, and I sprayed them down. They were right mad. They were so mad. And so now I'm inside because I'm a little bit nervous about how things are going to be when I go back out there. But it'll be fine, right? It'll be fine. Surely they've moved on to greener pastures that don't mind them being there. And quite frankly, if they would go somewhere else that I wasn't frequenting all the time, I wouldn't mind sharing space with them either. But stay out of the coop, because I'm in the coop all the time. Okay, so we're going to make one more. What are we at? Okay, we still have a few minutes. Gidget's out there at the door. You guys, I'm gonna go let Gidget in just a second. Okay, sorry about that. Yeah, she's yammering on outside at the door, and then I open it to let her in, and she looks at me like I'm nuts. Like I'm the one that I don't even know. I can't even describe the look. But I had to pick her up and bring her in here. Oh, she's such a princess. Okay, so we're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna make another body. Okay, I'm gonna use this space because I think that's gonna give me more space of how I need it. I hope I have enough space. So, okay, yeah, I'm in frame. Another round green orb. Somebody's outside mowing their lawn. Okay. My water is so green right now. And then do the spot for their eyes. And as I've said before, when I have two of something, are they ever the same? No, they're not, because this is the Cranky Crafters channel, and we're just kind of learning as we go. So, no professionalism here on this station. And then I'm going to add in my other green bit color. Okay. Now, just hear me out. This frog, I'm going to need to add some more green because I used a lot. Hopefully this will be enough. Okay, this guy's going to be a pretty happy one, okay? I hope I have enough space. I hope I do. So, we're going to make kind of like small drumsticks. Like this. And then we're going to kind of come up like this. Kind of like to a point like that. Then we'll come back and color that in. Oh, if you go out, don't worry about it because, you know, we'll come in with our sketch pen. And we can also cut some of the bits off if we don't like it. So don't fret about that. And then we're going to come up on this side and we're going to do something similar. So we're going to have our little drumstick kind of part. That's too much, you guys. That's too much water. So I'm just drying off my brush and picking up some of that paint. Okay? And then we're going to come up here like this. I know, you're like, what in Sam Hill are you doing right now? Just wait for it, okay? Just wait for it. just wait for it. Hopefully you'll find this as amusing as I am finding it for myself. Because and then I'm going to drop in a little bit of color. Okay? Do those look like arms? They do. All right. They do. Now, we're going to do his legs. So we're going to do the same like drumstick thing, right? But we're going to kind of elongate it. Jeez. I only did this once other, so I hope I can get it. Okay. So we got that. Okay. Oh my Lord. All right, now the other one. The other leg is gonna make it. It's either gonna make it or break it. Marcy, no pressure. Can you see where this is going yet? Okay, so, okay, I'm a little bit nervous because what if I, what if I can't come through? So we're gonna draw almost like a part of a chicken leg, like we did up here for the arms. Okay. Yeah, and we're gonna come kind of to a point, and then we're gonna bring it down like this. Can you see what's happening here? He's like a jumping frog. He's like a happy, he's like the happiest frog. Okay, now I'm switching over to my 4, the smaller one, and we're gonna make, the pads on their feet, the toes, toe bits. That. You see, he's jumping because he's just filled with so much joy. He's happy about something. This is still wet. Just got green on me. Can you guys still see? Yeah. I'm just moving it so that I don't keep rubbing my hand in the wet paint. Okay, now, now we need to dry it. Hold on just a second. Okay, so I got my Inktense pencils out, and I thought that we could add like dots that way so you could see. So you don't have to use black. You really could use whatever color. I mean, you could use blue, purple, whatever floats your boat. Use it. But is a project ever complete on this channel without some kind of dots somewhere? I don't know. I don't know if it is or not. You could add this when it was still damp if you wanted, and so it would, the colors would kind of, merge together. So we did that, and I think I still will add a little bit of black. The pencils kind of blend in to the background like they're flat, whereas I think sometimes when you use paint pen, it almost is like it stands up a little bit, and so it just adds a different kind of texture, if you will. But again, that's all how you want it. Okay, well, let's add his eyes. That. He's very happy. Let's see. We can put a smiley face on him. Yes? All right. And then we can just sketch him. Sketch him out. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed this one. I've been getting some suggestions on, what to do for Fodder Fridays, and that's fantastic. I love that. So keep them coming if you have ideas. I'm keeping a running list going, don't know, you know, when I'll get to all of them necessarily, but I have the list, never fear. And then just the little white bit in its eye. Like, like that. And he's very happy. All right, let's cut these out. Cut them out. Oh, sorry. Right under the camera. Okay, so now for their toes, I just kind of, I don't cut them all out individually. You'll see when we get to that point. I just kind of make a little round cut around them. Kind of like that. Well, if you know, if you want to cut each little toe out, do it. But I'm not feeling like I need to do that. You guys, this one, if I think it's fantastic when your art can make you laugh, because we could do with a lot more laughter these days. I did wonder, and maybe I will try it and get back to you, but instead of actually making like the he's like, yes, yes, boing, boing, boing. Okay, Marcy, that's enough. Instead of making these all green, I wondered how it would be if we just did like black sketches and left them white. I kind of like that sometimes. Like we did with the, what did we do recently that was like that? Oh, the snails, where we kind of made the colorful shells, but then left the bodies just ink. I like the different mediums like that. I think it's eye-catching. I mean, who doesn't want a fun watercolor frog? Come on, you guys, you could put that in your spread. You, just like I say every time, put them in cards. I mean, I don't know why. He looks a little bit concerned about something, so I don't know, maybe you could add like a little snarky comment to him and put him on the front of the card, or give him like a little speech bubble with a snarky comment and send it to a friend, you know, and say something funny, sarcastic. That's just where my mind goes, because I'm extremely sarcastic, as we all are in this household, and you have to be able to handle it to come visit us in this house. Some of my kids' friends will be like, are you guys mad at each other? No, we're not. This is just how we talk to each other. Look it. I'm going to stand up and make sure that you guys can see him. I need a new lighting system, you guys, because this one in the back there, like totally just blasts me and I can't see in the camera. So if you guys have suggestions, oh, give them to me. I'm not using Amazon though, so I know it might be a little bit hard for me to find something. Might have to look elsewhere. But here we are. We have our frogs, and they're this one makes me laugh. Here's the other one. Here's the one that I made before I came on, and that's why he made me laugh. And I'm like, I gotta do this one and show everybody. This one's a little bit smaller. Okay, but come on, he's funny. Okay, that's it. We did it. We did it. You see, they're all varying different shades of green. And that's okay. I love that. All right, I hope you guys have a happy Fodder Friday. I hope your weekend goes amazingly well. I hope everyone is healthy and happy, and I'll see you next time.